Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down if you can find a seat, relax, smoke a cigar or a cigarette, or drink a latte, whatever you want. And welcome to Thursday's edition of the dceu Daily. Right, before I start, today's subject will be discussing a spoiler from the Shazam movie. So if you don't want to know this, you need to stop this video and come back after you've seen Shazam, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. So today we'll be talking about what the Superman cameo in Shazam means for Henry Cavill's future. And it's simple. You don't need me to draw you a picture. Basically, we get a Superman cameo in this film, but it's not Henry Cavill. It's a body double. We don't see a face. We see kind of the Superman insignia, the top part of the suit. Someone's walking in the suit. Now, how do I feel about this? Well, I feel that basically Henry Cavill is done as Superman, as I've been telling you for weeks now. And I mean, I hate it when I'm right. Henry Cavill was a great Superman. He was. There's no question about it. He looks like Superman. The performances were very strong. He really gave Zack Snyder, and Joss Whedon. And sadly, Justice League was an issue because when you release a film with such terrible upper lip CGI and everyone's making fun of it, now they weren't making fun of Henry, they were making fun of it. That's the point. But, that wasn't great for Henry, that wasn't great for his reputation, and there were going to be issues and there were going to be consequences afterwards. It's as simple as that. And this is what's just happened here. Now, for weeks and weeks and months now, there's been these rumours about Henry Cavill wanting more money than Warner Brothers want to give him. Maybe he wants to be a producer on these Superman films as well. Maybe that's an issue. But all I know is when he negotiates to play other roles, there doesn't seem to be a problem. So it doesn't seem like we're dealing with a diva here. But you can understand that maybe he wanted some assurances after what they did with the upper lip CGI. And that's understandable. But I don't think this is anything to do with him wanting more money. I think the issue is here that Walter Hamada and Peter Safran decided that they must cast another Superman. And I think probably what they'll do is they'll cast a multiverse Superman for their Black Label, because the Black Label is all about creating a multiverse. So maybe in 5 or 6 years' time, they can do like a big multiverse crossover. They're up to something there, but I think we will have a Superman in the Black Label. Maybe we'll have we'll probably get a Superman in the DC Dark universe before we see one in the DCEU universe. Maybe that's what's going on here. I think the next time we'll see this new Superman in the DCEU will be in the Supergirl film. There's no question about that. I'm not sure how that film's coming along, but I'm sure it's in its development stage. And I'm very excited to see what they do with a Supergirl film. Very, very interested, and I'm glad they're doing a Supergirl film. And there's no question about it. Superman being in that film makes it an even bigger draw, and they know that. And if they're going to reveal their brand new Superman there, that's going to be awesome. But yes, the realization of seeing it, watching Shazam and seeing that Superman cameo, this is what it tells me. This is the message that's coming from Warner Brothers. Superman is important to us, but Henry Cavill will never play him again. What they're telling us is Henry's no longer Superman, but you can expect loads of Superman in the future when we cast a new actor, or when we give you 2 or 3 versions. I don't know. I just feel that by not showing his face, it's obvious he's not involved anymore. Some people will say, well, the rumours are that because he's still in negotiations, he couldn't do it. Well, there was another rumour that he still had one more appearance. If he's got one more appearance, this could have been it, right? Or they could have given him another film. They could have greenlit another film. So it doesn't look like he really has another appearance, or they've decided to void that appearance. But for me, it looks to me that that he's done. He's done. They didn't want him back. Henry Cavill wants to play Superman. That is clear. He's spoken very concisely and clearly about that. This is not Henry Cavill quitting. And when the shit all hits the fans and it comes out they're going to try and make out that Henry Cavill made this decision for his career, blah, blah, blah. No. No, no, no. Henry wanted to play Superman. It's as simple as that. And the point being, he's not playing Superman because Peter Safran and Walter Hamada decided they needed a clean slate. And I've always said to you guys, I'm split over this because as much as I love Henry as Superman, I think maybe they're right, because no matter how many times Henry was going to play Superman again, the gifts would still come out and it would be problematic. By doing this, it's a clean slate. So do they just recast him like Bryan Singer did with Superman Returns? Or do they give a concise storytelling reason why Superman looks different now? I think I think Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be very interesting if Grace Randolph's kind of so-called leaks and sources are right, that it's some kind of Flashpoint movie which just tweaks their whole universe a little bit. Are those rumours true? Don't forget, they delayed the film by another year, which is not out till next summer. So was that the reason? Did they decide not to do that? Did they decide to do that? Is that the reason they had the delay? So, there's some very exciting situations here. But sadly, as far as I'm concerned and the people that I talk to, my sources are concerned, Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. And I think it goes back to the article the Hollywood Reporter had last year. Now, it's interesting because I've told you before, anything the Hollywood Reporter reports about the DCEU, more often than not, actually, always, it's true. Because the Hollywood Reporter and now the mouthpiece for Warner Brothers, as far as the DCEU and DC films are concerned, everything they've said has come to pass. So if they say there's going to be a Snyder Cut release, if the Hollywood Reporter say that, it's true. And then you can get excited. It's not just some kind of clickbait kind of post. So yes, we can trust the Hollywood Reporter. Their agenda's a bit skewed at times, but definitely you can trust them as far as any DCEU news. And I didn't want to admit this at the time because what happened was Henry's agent, after the article came out, and said the cape is still in his closet. So we kind of trusted that. And she said, get ready for Warner Brothers to have a response to this. And all they said was that we've always enjoyed working with Henry. Well, that's not a denial of the report. What does that mean? Basically, it's like they were adding to the Hollywood Reporter's article, basically saying, yeah, he's leaving and we've always enjoyed working with him, because they weren't ready to just blatantly admit what was going on. But they okayed that article with the Hollywood Reporter. Henry Cavill's done. We've seen Ben Affleck announce that he's no longer playing Batman. So things are changing. I'm very excited for the future of the DCEU. I always have been. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I've said that already. But my loyalties aren't really with actors. My loyalties are with these films being the best they can be. Making films for all DC fans, all passionate cinema goers, rather than saying these films are just for these types of people. That's xenophobia as far as I'm concerned, and I don't like it. Now, early DCEU was clearly only attracting a certain member of the public, of the fan base. Now, I love those people. I'm one of those people, right? But at the end of the day, I must concede that I do want DC films that are there for everyone. And don't say, nah, you're not clever enough to watch a DC film. That's not right. And that's not fair. So I'm glad they made them. But now we must move forward and make films for everyone. That's important. And I kind of notice a lot of anger by some, especially some Zack Snyder fans, that Shazam is a fun movie. Well, if you can't make Shazam, a film about Shazam, a fun movie, then you never can you? Of course it's going to be fun. But there's also a lot of drama, character-driven situations here, and it can be very dark at times. So as I said before, it's all tones put into one, and it really works. And everybody who sees this film comes out of the cinema smiling and feeling better about themselves. Isn't that what we want as well? So nobody's wrong for doing dark superhero films, but nobody's wrong for making films that everybody wants to see either. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching today's edition of the DCEU Daily. I hope you'll be back for more tomorrow. where we'll be talking about something else DCEU related. Could some big news drop? I hope so. Then we've got something really, really exciting to talk about.